Is Leonardo the best or one of the best defense-based damage dealers in the entire game? Let's talk about him today. What's up, guys? MtgJedi here. How you doing today? I was planning on making a guide on April O'Neil, and she is just not that great. She doesn't do what I want her to do. If you still want me to do that video, just like, I don't know, put a comment down there, and if like 10 people like it, I'll make the video. Anyway, that's not important, and that's not what I'm talking about today, but it did get me in the right mindset and help me motivate myself to do this guide. I think that Leonardo is absolutely an outstanding champion in this game, and we're going to be getting a summon pool for him coming up tomorrow, I think is when it's supposed to start. That is going to be a prism pool, and I know that most people are not going to be buying prisms, but if you are pulling for the Soulstone event, which I would also recommend not pulling for. I did a quick 10 pull to get some energy. That's all I would say would be a good idea unless you have tons and tons. But you can get a free summon pull, or if you've been saving yours, then you could use them. There's like a lot of options, right? But either way, he is going to be in the summon pool. So I thought now would be a good time to go over him. I've had him on my account for a while now. I've used him a ton, and he makes it into a lot of teams in my roster, which is pretty shocking because I have a pretty big roster, okay? So anyway, if you are going to run April, you can run them in the same team. I stole her gear, so hold on, let me put it back on. Of course, I didn't save the gear preset. One moment, please. Recalculating. Okay, April has gear on now, but not that that's super important for the video. Leonardo is who we're talking about today, and I have him mainly in lethal set, and then it just so happened that some of my best defensive nuking gear was righteous, and that is going to be the main reason why I put it on here. You can use whatever gear sets you want, Merciless, Savage, but some kind of defense ignoring set is going to be perfect on him. And I don't like to spend a lot of time talking about the kit at the beginning of the video. I want to jump right into the gameplay. So if you appreciate that, go ahead and hit the like button. Now, for me, when I am using Leonardo, my favorite team to use it with is the Turtles team. But I don't think that that's actually the best team. The best team that I use him with is with Donatello and Sifi. Sifi is going to be bringing that increased defense, and that's pretty critical to getting the most damage out of him. And if we come in here, what you're going to see is just quick fights. We can come in here and just speed farm arena with Sifi if you have her. Now, if you're going to be using Armands, I don't know. I kind of recommend turning off the sheep because otherwise you have to take extra seconds. I don't know if that matters to you, but it does matter to me. But it is a really effective team. It is a really speed farm type of team, and it's pretty survivable. Donatello's going to protect people, so if you run into some problems, you're still going to be okay. And then Donatello also going to reset the skills so that he's going to circle back to that A3 as often as possible. His A3 is the move that you want to prioritize. His AI wants to do the A2. He really wants to counterattack people, okay? But he doesn't need to counterattack people. He just needs to kill them. And that was a pretty tanky team there, right? So you can also, like I said, you can also use the Turtles team. Where is that? And if you have Michelangelo here, Donatello And then Leo. Leo will be doing more damage with the 3 of them in the team. The April could really be anyone you want. It could be Arbiter. It could be Fabian. It could be Armands. Anyone like that. If you got Mythicals, it could be our base. All of that good stuff. This type of team can beat very tanky teams, no problem. You just have to be willing to kill that Sun Wukong like 30 times. Whoa, the Ultimate Death Knight doesn't have Stone Skin on. Okay, well, we just kill them if that's the case. All right, well, whatever. This is a really great champion, okay? So, let's look at his kit briefly, and then we'll get into the other gameplay. So, with Leonardo, you have his A3, and really just having one turtle in the team is enough. But also, if you have 2 turtles, then he's going to be doing more because you're going to be ignoring 30% of their defense. So I don't recommend using Raphael with him, but it would be fine. It's like if you have Leo, then you probably have Donatello as well. If you don't, then of course you could fill in with Raphael. It would not be quite as good. I'd recommend Arbiter if you're going to take out Donatello. That would look like this. You would just take whatever, your Raphael here and replace the Donatello spot. And then that way you'd be using Arbiter to boost them. But when you do that, it you're missing that bridge champion. So you would want somebody who's going to do that turn meter boost. Maybe like Lady Kimmy. Whoever is going to be a turn meter booster. Actually, there's a rare that would be perfect. It is not very often that I recommend a rare in a team these days. But actually, if you don't have Sifi, Doomscreech is probably the second best option. Fills the turn meters of all allies by 30%. I might need to make a guide just on this guy because, dude, this is 30%. We don't actually see epics or legendaries doing 30% turn meter boosts. And we get an increased defense buff on all allies. This is a great setup. You have your free Michelangelo and you have your Donatello. You have 2 turn meter boosters. You could even, if you have your Armands or your April O'Neil, they could also go in this spot. This Doomscreech could allow you to have 2 different 3v3 teams. What a great coincidence that I remembered that for the video. That's awesome. I think this is an incredible team, and then your Armands could be whatever speed lead that you want. A cool option that we were talking about the other day on stream would be Gergo. Gergo would kind of do a little bit of both. You'd have your turn meter booster into your control champ, but it doesn't matter. Whatever speed lead you would want to use. You could also technically fit in your Carnage there or Lazarius. Whoever the heck you would want to could fit in really well in that spot. And then that Doomscreech would kind of open up your roster to other possibilities. And anytime you can do that, that flexibility just really adds a lot. Now, I just want to mention 1 second real quick here. We have turn meter boost by 10%. Sifi's turn meter boost is 10%, guys. So if you think about Doomscreech here, that's the same turn meter boost as Arbiter. Fills the turn meter of all allies by 30%, places increased defense. I don't have a big blessing on him, so actually I am going to go in here and I am going to put him in my wish list. I'm definitely going to do that. Doomscreech going on the wish list. Then that way, we can incorporate that into the Doomscreech guide. Do we need that? Do we need that on the channel here? You tell me. Now, before we go and move on to other areas of the game, I want to call out the insane video that I made. I'll put a card up above here and I'll link that at the end of the video as well. Um, and basically, if you have Senna and all four turtles, you can do some pretty amazing things in like every area of the game. I want to make sure that if you're getting or have Leonardo, I think he's, maybe the hardest one to get. I could be wrong. I still don't have Raphael, so maybe Raph is the hardest one to get. But either way, if you end up getting all four of them, they can do incredible things in the game. So I want to call out that video. Leonardo pairs really well with champions of other factions. But there's a lot of cool. Let me just hold on. Let me gather my thoughts. Thing number one, when you have Leonardo, you do really well with putting other turtles on the team. So the more turtles you put on the team, the more damage the more defense he's going to ignore. Okay, that is thing one. However, there are some other teams that are going to work really well with him. And I think that I need to mention those because we get stuck in this mindset of there's only one right way. And I don't think that that's true for Leo. For example, one of the champions that is going to pair really well with him is going to be MtgJedi. And this is wonderful because we're getting to a point in the game where less and less and less and less and less people have Ninja, who is the best pairing for MtgJedi in most areas of the game. But Leo is also in the same faction. He's a Shadowkin. So when you're using MtgJedi, she's going to bring a Shadowkin on the A1. And not only that, but she is an incredible champion that everyone can get. So we have 3 free champions plus Leonardo. Here's another great option as a team. The only thing is you would not have increased defense here. But it is still a very good option. Then the reason I mentioned MtgJedi is because that's going to transition us into the next section, which is going to be Hydra, his second best area of the game. I guess real quick, obviously he's going to be very good in Faction Wars. The faction is not open on the time when I have to record this video, but like, yeah, he's going to be an incredible champion in Faction Wars. You can build a 5-person team for Faction Wars that will be really, really easy to clear the normal side, and that will be great for the hard mode side. Let me get to an area where I can show you those teams real quick, and then we'll jump back into the Hydra that I said we were going to. So a nice free-to-play team for Faction Wars might be Leonardo plus MtgJedi, and then some cool epics. Like most people have Taragi, I think. If you're lucky enough to get Kinagashi, the Reviver. Otherwise, you could use Hotatsu or there's a couple other ones. Really, a lot of the epics will work. Secret Weapon, Umitogi. I just need to start making a list of champions to make guides on. Yeah. But anyway, this would be a really great team for normal Faction Wars. And then if you go to the hard mode side, then you want to include champions that are going to be like, a little bit probably better. Like maybe Harima and Yamiko, or who else? Like Lady Kimmy and Michinaki. Like you're gonna want to start like using legendaries. But Kinagashi still, what is she the only reviver in the faction? We need more revivers, okay? How about the next fusion be a legendary reviver, Halloween themed, and in Shadowkin? That could be great. That could be really, really great. But anyway, yeah, Leo, he's going to hold it down in Faction Wars easily. And he can help you in Doom Tower too, if, since I'm on that screen. Okay, so we're going to start off going on the belief that you have all three of these turtles. I'll try to put somebody else in here for Donatello in case you don't. But the first thing that you're going to want is somebody who is going to be a reviver. And that can really be a lot of different things, okay? And you can search your revivers on your account by going down in here under positive effects. You know, there's a lot of great options. Molly, White Queen, Sulfurion, Sifi, Glycade, Pythion, Elva. Maybe most people have Elva. More people have Elva. Not sure. But, you know, like any of these revivers are going to be good options. You need a reviver. Elva brings increased speed, and she also brings the cleanse that is really nice to pair in your Hydra team. Because that way you can sort of kind of ignore the fear head. I mean, if you want to put Shamail in the next slot, that could be a good idea if you have him. Shamail. Oh, we need the vaults. Yeah, so Shamail can be a great one, especially if you put Leonardo in the lead. That way Shamail is boosting him. So that could give him a lot of extra attacks. And then probably your last spot is going to be Vizix. Because Vizix is going to give you that provoke and the decreased speed. So I feel like this is a good option for a lot of players. And this should be able to one key brutal, hard, and easy, or normal, whatever. I don't know if this can one key Nightmare unless you have pretty good gear on all of these champions. Maybe, but you're kind of lacking some, you know, really good champions, I want to say. I don't know. It just does not seem like a high damage outcome for Nightmare, but I think all the other difficulties, this could be a really, really good one. In this setup, you don't have block buffs, so that's kind of a problem. We really do want block buffs as an option in the team, and so if we had a champion that could do like some kind of provoking or block buffs, decrease speed, all of that stuff, that would be a good fit in this team as well. So let me think if there's a good option for that. Someone like Kantra could fit in really well there. And then that could be a pretty decent team for you. You could also try to do something with Shamail in a provoke set, and then use another block buffs champion in this spot. A good solution to all of that might just be putting Uko in the team. As much as I don't like him, he is really great if you're going to manual it. It's just he uses his revive at all times. He is going to prioritize that revive. And then you don't have the other effects that you're really looking for from his kit, nor do you have the revive for when your champions are actually dead. But he is a reviver. He does do block buffs, and he does decrease attack, and he strips buffs. He does have increased speed as well. I mean, like, he is a very good champion. It's just when you want to hit that quick battle button, he is a champion that is not going to be the best option all of the time. So if you went this route, then the other champion to fill in, let's say you didn't have Shamail, then maybe you would want to try to get somebody in here with Perfect Veil. Is there even a champion that I would recommend with Perfect Veil? I don't know. It's so difficult. Maybe Tatora, but I probably would just ignore it. Prava is an interesting choice. And then you have Rector, but you already have a Reviver, so it's not like there's a ton of good options for this. You could, yeah, I don't really like it. I would probably just go with another cleanser. If I was gonna go this route, I would not worry about the Perfect Veil at all, and I would put in Mithrala in this team. Once you put Mithrala in there, then you're looking for another block buffs champion, and that's going to probably be one of the most essential things that most people are missing. And that can be anybody. It could be Sun Wukong. Other good options. Lammasu is a good free option. If you, of course, have Packmaster or someone like that, that's great. Wallmaster is an incredible option as another damage dealer and getting you block buffs. You can put him and maybe Uko in a provoke set. All of those are going to be great options for you. Cantra would fit well in this last spot also because she's going to do all of those things that you're kind of looking for. I didn't realize Cantra was going to fit so perfectly with this team. But if you take out that Donatello and you just use the 2 free champions, that does kind of set you up for a lot more flexibility in your team. I think the last team that I kind of want to mention here is using Molly. When you use Molly as the core of your team, she's going to be the reviver and the provoker. She can also draw the head of mischief, so you give her resistance and accuracy, and then that way she does all kinds of different stuff. When she's the mischief tank, she's going to be boosting your turn meters by 25% against bosses, which is crazy, dude. And then you're going to just be getting a lot of turns. You can use Estrid as your increase speed, decrease speed, weaken champion. That's going to pair really well with Mikey, who's going to be doing decreased defense. And then you could put Supreme Gallic, who a lot of people have, Mithrala. I think I've covered all of the parts here. If you don't have Supreme Gallic, you could run Ugo just for some more consistency in your decreased defense. You could run really any block buffs champion here, but I did want to mention Supreme Gallic at some point since some people started accounts with him. And this is a pretty accessible team. Like, if you got Leonardo, Mikey's free, Mithrala's free, you use the Supreme Gallic promo code, he's free, and then all you had to do was get lucky with a couple of legendaries that would work here. But you could, as another option, like, let's rearrange these. How could we get this same effect here? I would probably go any other Reviver and Vizix. So, Vizix, another free-to-play option, and then a Reviver. Whoever it is on your account that you have that you want to use, we'll put in the first Reviver that I see here. Okay, Noelle. Actually, Noelle would be really good there because she has the increased speed. What a coincidence. It may or may not have been planned. So, there's a lot of great options for teams right here. But it depends on your account what teams you want to go with. You want to customize it based on what other champions are in your other teams, what does your roster look like, but hopefully I've given you good options to pair with Leonardo. And as a reminder, one of the things you want to always try to fit in the team is increased defense. So that's one reason why I've been including Mithrala in so many teams, is for that very thing. And again, if you do have Sifi, then she can come in here in this style team as well. I don't know why it doesn't want to go. And then if you don't want to put Mithrala in there, you could fill that with any other cleanser. Like, let's say that you also have Cardial. Cardial could be a great option here because then you have your ally attack, you have your cleanse, but you also have your turn meter boost and your increased defense with Sifi. So anyway, that'll do it for me here today. You can use this style team. You just take out the one champion, probably Vizix, and then you this is going to be your Chimera team as well. But you might have a Chimera team that's going to do more damage. He's not the best there, but he's also not the worst. So if you don't have a lot of the other top tier damage dealers, then you could build a Turtles team for Chimera as well. What do you think? Was that helpful to you? I will link the full Turtles team here at the end of the video, somewhere on screen. And you can let me know in the comments how you're using your Leonardo and what you want to do with him when you get him. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. That makes you my hero today. Have a great day. Go Turtle Power.